Hello and welcome to Kickstarter Talk. This is week 16. We're going to take a few minutes today and examine some of the Kickstarters that you have the opportunity to back. We're going to be using our new system in the way we do it, which is basically we are using the new Opinion Stage platform to actually host this. And what that allows is for an easier user experience on our site. There's less loading time because someone else, a different site, as I mentioned, the Opinion Stage is actually the one doing the hosting for us in this case. And these Kickstarters have nothing, no load time on our site. So that should help for a better experience. As you can see, this is our cover. They're put in order this week for the first time ever, as in finishing first, aside from our choice, which we'll go over in a second. So as you read it beyond our choice, just understand that the first one on the list is more than likely ending soon. The good thing about this week is we don't have any Kickstarters that are ending right away. So you guys have time to check them all out and go through them and see what you guys like. Now let's get to our choice of the week, and I'll explain why. Grief is the choice of our week. And I personally like Grief because it's a real story. It's a story that really shows the impact of human nature and, you know, actual modern struggles that we have. And it's written in a comic book point of view in the way that a lot of these stories could definitely interact with comic book fans. It is a fantastic story. And it's not just a downer, but it's reality. And with the reality set in that way, you get both the ups and the downs of a story that's told well. And that's sometimes a good thing. Sometimes life needs to not always just be fun, but make you stop and think. It's definitely one of those anthologies. It's already made its ask, but that doesn't mean, as always, that we don't support it, even if it's made what it's asking for. Moving on, we're going to support the R4AU. This is the Autistic Jedi and the R2 unit that's been made for autism awareness. This is Autism Awareness Month. So we would appreciate you guys getting a patch and showing off your support of the research that goes into autism and all the, you know, the training of children, to better suit them to the real world, because there is a different type of education that goes into teaching an autistic child versus a regular child. And it's also to understand that just because a child has autism, it doesn't mean that that's, you know, a condemning fact for them in their lives. They can still live a good life. That's why we need to support programs like this that help research, but also help build awareness and build the idea of being something more than some sort of punishment or other things that you hear online about families dealing with autistic kids. It's just not true. Every autistic case is different. Not everyone has the same level of autism. So it is important, especially this month during Autism Awareness Month, that we get behind programs like this and support it. Let's get on to our Kickstarters, starting with FSC, WWE Eats Meets Superheroes with the Seasoning of Spartacus. This is an exciting collaboration effort of many creators and artists coming together to bring this together as a fantastic story. This is an extended version. I read the original version. This has added some story to it. I think that's going to be a great thing to see, even more explaining of who these characters are. If you're a wrestling fan, if you're a comic book fan, there's no reason you shouldn't be backing that one. Last I checked, they had made their asks, so this is a guaranteed comic at this point. Warhead, it's been struggling a little to get where it needs to be. Now all of these are interactive, as you'll see right now. As I just hit that and we go over here, it has $1,000 on a $10,000 ask. It's got $9,000 to make. It's not impossible. There are 9 days. I've seen Kickstarters get $1,000 a day. It's an interesting idea. It's something you guys definitely should be checking out. Don't sleep on it. I mean, the support matters. Even if you go up and just show her that you're supporting her and her creation, her being Katrina. I think it's, Katrina. You could also show that maybe she just needs to maybe break it down, maybe do a smaller segment for her first Kickstarter and the ask. You know, comic books are expensive to make. For those of you who are fans just watching us and don't create comic books, I know sometimes that sounds like a lot of money, but it's really not when it comes into art, effort, labor, printing, and promoting. Moving on, we have a 128-page trade back of the cult series Back to the Future meets Inglorious Bastards with pregnant ladies. This was one of those things that when I first looked at it, I'm like, what is this? But I mean, when you read the pitch, you read inside of it, you can tell it's a very clever and very interesting story. I don't necessarily think pregnant women should be out fighting wars, but sometimes you don't get that choice, do you? Judges, a supernatural demon-killing action comic series. I've actually got this in my inbox to read. I did go through it a little bit. I can tell you just from going through it, the writing seems to be there. It seems to be strong. The art is fantastic. It's definitely one of those things that you want to get involved in. The only reason I'm not actually doing a review of it just yet has just been time. It's nothing that I'm trying to put off. It's trying to juggle everything with the Easter holiday that just came up. And as you can see, they've already made their goals. So this is one of those things. And if you see, that's me. I switched it this week to make sure to show people. This is one of those things that you want to be supportive of. If you like action series, if you like, interesting fight scenes, this is definitely something I think that you guys will enjoy. It's definitely going to have, the Law and Order feel to it in a very extreme manner. So check it out. If it's, if you like violence, this might be for you. Moving on with our not countdown, but actual just Kickstarters of the week. We're going to stop for a minute and talk about veterans. Now, we do this every segment, and we're going to continue to do this every segment that I can fit it in. The only time we don't mention the veterans is Spoken Sins, because Spoken Sins is about the creators on. With that said, you click here to go to the website. You support veterans. Josh does an awesome job with his wife at just promoting veteran awareness and being able to help veterans better deal with coming home in certain regards. And we can't forget about the veterans. I know some of you are not in America, but in America, you have to support your veterans. And even outside your country, the people who defend your nation and go out and give up time to actually support your country and give up being with their family. When they come home, we owe them something. Don't ever think we don't owe them something, because we do owe them something for what they've given away. Because what they gave away is time in life, and they can never get that time back. And you can never repay them enough. So doing things like this, being part of something like this, participating in the fundraising events, subscribing to their magazines, just hitting the share button, which is free and takes no time, should be something that you can easily do, and you should be doing it. So if you haven't done it already, like the page, share it, and help veterans out. Back to what we have as offerings this week. We have Aliens, Ghost, and a Foxy suit makes this a Kickstarter to back. This is one of those Kickstarters that looks very fun. It's one of those comics that you know you're going to be reading with a smile. I definitely think it's interesting. It's about a runaway symbiote organism from the planet Defleon. Crashes to Earth in search of a good time. Now, how does that not instantly make you want to back it? Moving on to the Grand Machine. Now, the Grand Machine we actually showcased last week. It looks like a fantastic CIA meets Roswell meets Area 51 meets the castle idea of a writer who's on the ropes. And I think it's interesting. I don't know why there's not more of a buzz around it. We have 15 days to make sure this gets made. And guys, this has to be made. This is an interesting story. This is definitely something we as creators want to see made, because this is the wave of the future, because it's got fantastic storytelling. And I think that, as many of you, I think, will agree with me, storytelling is very important. And this is the type of comic book that's going to tell an interesting story. And you can see the action is fantastic. The art is there. The creators put a lot of themselves into it. As you can see by their dramatic pictures, like very, very stern, very, very focused on their work. So, and I think that's accurate in their art. And I think it does show that they're very focused. And I do think this is something that is very interesting. And if you haven't backed it already, like I have, you need to back it. And if you can't back it because you spent your Kickstarter nut for the month, remember, shares are free. Shares are important. And just because any Kickstarter looks like it may or may not be funded, Even if it is funded or it's struggling to be funded, that should never come into why you're going to back it. You should be backing it by this. You look at it, you go, this looks cool, I'm going to back it. You look at it and you go, this really isn't for me, but I might know someone who might enjoy this. You hit the share button. Share buttons here. Share buttons on Facebook. Share the thing that we're going to give. If you share the thread that we're going to give you today at the end of this video, which is what we're reading off of right here, which is titled Week 16, here's your opportunities, then you letting all these people have an opportunity. This all becomes that. If you want to reach out to me and say, hey, Rob, is there a way to give a direct link to this opinion stage link that you guys are linking to? I can give that to you too if for some reason people don't want to visit my site. I won't be too hurt. But either way, this isn't about my site. This is about backing great projects, and the Grand Machine is a great project that needs to be backed. And then we have Emmanuel God with us. Once again, we've talked about this for a few weeks, and this is going to be drawing to an end soon. It had a little bit of a longer Kickstarter than most. It's one of those things that if you find yourself to be religious, this is going to be an interesting project done by a very passionate man, Scott, who's a friend of mine. And I think that he's going to do a fantastic job. He's a great artist. And this is his humble attempt, as he says it in his own words, to comprehensive and linearly tell the story of Christ from his conception through crucifixion. So it's always interesting to see when comic books and real topics that are important to people wind up coming together. And this could be, as I've said many times, a teaching tool for children. So if you're trying to teach your children about religion, this might be a great way to get involved in that. Ghostly Tides, the Curse of a Witch Island. So Ghostly Tide, issue 1, follows the story of a wannabe pirate Finn and his friends Sam and Chirp. After failing to become a pirate at the annual pirate trials, Finn is tricked by a witch and accidentally resurrects the notorious black pirate. Now, this is one of those things where, once again, it's going to be a fun time comic, and that's a good thing because we all need to laugh. We all need to, like, this is one of those comics where you read the grief comic and then you read this to bring yourself back up a little if you're feeling a little down. It's something that'll put a smile on your face. It's definitely something that I could see one day being a cartoon on Cartoon Network. It definitely looks interesting. You get the ample bosom popping out on the cover. So they're definitely going to have fun with it. They're going to play up the stereotypes a little bit, and they're going to make it interesting. I definitely think this is something you guys should be looking at, sharing, and even backing. Remember, every dollar counts. So if you give just $1, a single dollar, you're showing a creator that you support them. And support for those who've never ran a Kickstarter means the world to people. Autism Speaks Atlanta Walk. So, okay, we're running out of time on this one. And basically, you just click here and you'll be able to support a contributor of ours on the site who actually does some of our posts. She actually writes articles now. She's doing it with her daughter in the R4 unit, and you just click here, and we'll do that right now. And remember, a lot of this is linkable. Everything in there has what. And you go to Melissa right here, and you just keep up with all of her stuff, and Melissa will tell you where she's running and be able to keep up with everything that's going on with her. Melissa's great people. Make sure you're supporting her because she's definitely a supporter of comic books and heavy Star Wars fan. So, reach out, help out with the autism awareness. And let's move on to my new favorite Kickstarter. This just broke yesterday. It's Nikolai Volkov. And now those of you who don't know this, and this might be just because I'm so old, but in the 1980s, Nikolai Volkov was the bad guy. He was Russian. He was proud to be Russian. He waved the flag in the Americans' faces, and it really pissed people off. Now, the reason this is such a big deal, at least to me, my grandmother and grandfather, who I called Baba and Juju, they came from the Ukraine, and they came from that region, and there was still the Soviet Union, the USSR, and the Ukraine was under that control. So seeing him win, seeing him talk the way he did, seeing him fight people like Hulk Hogan, it really mattered to my family because it was like a representation of what they were struggling and going through. And obviously there's a man behind that performance. And you, as a wrestling fan, you wind up hating people because of who they're playing, but you always know in the back of your head that you're grateful for that character that they're playing because they're making wrestling interesting. Someone has to play the bad guys. Just because they play the bad guys doesn't mean they're a bad guy. And me personally, I can't wait to learn more about this character. And I'm not the character, but the person behind the character, I should say, because he did such a great job creating a character that had to have come from somewhere. He had to have put something in it to be able to act that way, if you know what I mean. And there definitely is a story there because he was fleeing his native Yugoslavia, fleeing right there. He was fleeing it. So he obviously didn't support the USSR. He didn't, condone what they were doing. He left because of what they were doing. So to do that, leave a country that you didn't believe in their direction, and you were actually literally fleeing from it, to play that character, I'm sure there was a little bit of enjoyment at how many boos he got. That's got to be an interesting story. So if you're a wrestling fan and you don't know who he is, trust me, he matters. Ask any one of us who've been around since the 80s watching wrestling, and those who've watched the 80s wrestling, you know why this is important. And by all means, there's the link right there at the bottom in the blue. Just click it, support it, get it funded. Let's take a look. Now, this just broke yesterday. I'll be heartbroken, but I'm sure I'll get over it if it's at least not halfway funded. Okay, we're just about halfway funded. That's what I would expect something like this to be, because it's a very interesting comic book. And just to the record, and I do want to stress this, this isn't some unauthorized biography of a superstar. We've seen that where people aren't necessarily involved in it. No, 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 no. This is an actual comic book that has to actually deal with him personally. This stuff is right from the man himself, Nikolai Volkov. He is actually involved in this project. He's very involved. He's signing things. This is like almost close to the colors in the shirts that they actually sold back in the day. Obviously, it's more modern now. But, I mean, just a fantastic guy. I cannot believe that this isn't more funded, honestly. At least I'm happy it's halfway there in just 24 hours. But it's got to get funded. I'm a wrestling fan. All you guys know, if you watched the social media this morning, we broke the news that we've teamed up with Wrestle Talk in a way that will be helping promote their videos. You guys voted. You said yes, you wanted us to cover wrestling a little bit in our entertainment segment. So we teamed up with what I thought was the best wrestling news program that there is. It'll take some time away from me having to do it or any one of our people having to do it. And we're utilizing someone who does a fantastic job at telling what's going on in wrestling. So that's exciting news. And this goes right up there with exciting things to do with wrestling and entertainment. Sorry, I almost sneezed there. I'm just going to get a quick drink. Okay, so that was this week in wrestling news. So let's move on to, I believe this is our last. Oh, we have a couple more. Okay, this is Low Life. Now, I'm very thrilled about this project. I love the art in it. I love the idea of anything post-apocalyptic and how things are dealt with are interesting. It's interesting that there seems to be aliens on the planet. I backed the first issue. This is on Indiegogo. I haven't read the first issue yet, not because I don't want to, simply because I get asked to do so many reviews. I don't get a lot of time to read necessarily what I want. I'm always reading something. And just so you guys know, I do a lot of reviews, but I don't post negative reviews. I don't believe in it. So if I see big problems with creator-driven comic books, I won't talk about them publicly because I feel like I'd be cheating you guys if I didn't mention there was a problem with it. With all that said, Low Life I did flip through, and it looks like it's fantastically done, and I would love to do a review of it. I only do reviews that I'm asked for it. I'm a big fan of this project. I know Kenny Groom, who's the creator behind it. I think it's a fantastic story. We've talked a lot. This is definitely one of those things. I mean, the art alone, and sometimes, I mean, there are comic books that the art is just, and I know, you see her half naked and all that, and she's at least wearing her shirt in the last episode. She didn't. But, I mean, just taking aside the obvious sexualness of the picture, just look at the art behind that. And this doesn't even do it justice because this is copy and paste art. So you lose a little bit of the pixelation. It's a lot sharper on the actual printed page or when you go to the actual site itself. But it's a fantastic idea. It's great art. It's good storytelling. It's something you should be sharing, at least donating $1 to, and getting behind it and showing Kenny that you want more. The interesting about this is Kenny's not actually printing with this. He's using Indiegogo as a way to be able to afford doing this because, you know, it's not cheap. So he's actually doing this as digital only. So that's an interesting take I haven't really seen anyone do yet. There are, of course, you know, more rewarding tiers where you can get certain things you might not be able to get on lower tiers, and it'll be more than PDF. So keep that in mind. But a PDF only is definitely an interesting take on it. I don't blame them considering some of the printing costs. So keep that on your radar. I'm sure we're going to see a trade back soon. So you can get the digital now, and remember, get the printed trade back down the road. And I know that's something he's planning for, is to do a big trade back, and I can't personally wait for that. The trading card set of today's best indie comic book creators. We talked about this a lot. It is a little bit of a long journey on this Kickstarter. We will be doing creator cards. I just haven't gotten to it yet, not for any particular reason other than I want this project to be over. I don't want what we're doing to interfere with this, and I don't want it to be confused with this. So we have backed off doing our creator cards just until this Kickstarter is over. After that, we will be putting out a offering and seeing who wants to join us. But for now, these are indie comic book creations winding up on indie cards, and it really is just a fantastic idea. And you can see Bob, Sally, we got Russell, we got one of the people behind it, Tom Spellman, right here, the Year of the Goat. I could keep going. I know all of these creators, and a lot of you guys should. Larry Higgins right down here. You guys should all know a lot of these people. And here goes that list. And we could spend 5 minutes talking about the names on this list. I mean, you got Dave Cook, who just had the Vessels, and I just picked him out randomly. And I'll pick another name out randomly. We'll go all the way down here, and we'll talk about, let's see, who should we just name? I'm seeing if there's a name that jumps off at me that I personally have covered a bunch of times on the I mean, you have Steve Panella, Faith Fallon. He's going to be on Spoken Sins soon. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And I mean, Barry Gregory, he does John the Amazing Man. For those who don't know, he's actually a co-owner in Kablam Printing. So, I mean, Jenny Gregory is actually Barry's wife. She does a fantastic comic book series on her own that's going to wind up being showcased in here. And it just goes on and on and on and on. There's Larry Higgins, what we talked about. I got to stop now because we'll go for 10 minutes talking about advertisements for the creators. Is absolutely right. I'm trying to get the indie comic shirt myself. I'm going to get the indie. I'm just spending too much. Don't tell my wife. Shh. We won't tell her. It's an exciting project. This is something that's going to be worth it, because if just one, and realize this, just to titillate you a bit, if just one of these creators makes the next Walking Dead, this pack, this collective pack becomes a collector's item overnight and becomes just invaluable. Well, not priceless. Priceless is the right word. It really will become something that people are going to strive to get. There's only going to be one first printing. Now is your time. And as you see, we're getting really close to the goal. We're going to start really pushing this a lot harder. I mean, there's 37 days to go, but we're getting there. You're talking 1,500. There's no way we can't do it. You guys got to get on it. Share it, share it, share it. Do me the favor, because we're definitely going to be really getting involved in the last 2 weeks. Because I want to see the stretch goals being hit. One of the stretch goals is a vendor pack. I personally want to see a vendor pack. I'd love to sell the vendor pack at my table once I get a table, or I should say my wife's table for Fetish Babies, because it'll really be her table, not mine. But I would love to see Alyssa sell those at her table. And then finally, we're just going to close with Are You One of Us? This is our not so brand new program repackaged. Last year, we asked indie comic book creators, artists, and all alike, are you one of us? But we put it out as one of us. And we kept asking, one of us? And a lot of people responded. As a matter of fact, 200 creators, 200 plus people who work in comic books joined our site, joined our network of creators, and asked us to help promote them. They did interviews. They shared their art with us. I mean, it was an amazing first year that we're about to wrap up now. But starting this year, going into our second year of actually being a website that's supported by all you wonderful sinners and readers and creators, we are very happy to be welcoming and inviting people who aren't necessarily working in comic books. This is about the fans this year. This is about cosplayers this year feeling more welcome, understanding our platform better. This is why we're doing entertainment news. This is why we're doing so much with the wrestling news, because we want to make our site to be an entertaining site where not only you will learn about indie comic books, and that's amazing, and we're never going to go away from that. That's always going to be our core. But you're also going to have the opportunity to be part of something that is very creative and very interesting. And you might not know this title, but hey, you might know this. And it's about keeping people interested. It's about keeping people motivated to show up to our site daily. And by showing up to our site daily, they're more likely to see things they might not have seen somewhere else. We're never going to be a site that completely goes to popular things. We're not looking for hits. We're looking to keep fans happy. And we keep asking you guys, and I want to thank you for the feedback, because we base everything on our site on the feedback of you, the users, the sinners, the creators who show up daily to our site and have shown us growth month after month, have shown us to be open with new ideas and really helping us mold a site that you wanted. We couldn't do it without you. But now we're inviting everyone to join us, everyone who likes creative things, anyone who is. We will not be happy, I'm going to tell you right now, until we have 1 million subscribers. That is the goal. We are at almost 17,000 subscribers today. We have a long way to go. And some of that starts with programs like this, where we reach out. We tell people, come join us, see what we do. We do daily updates. We have indie comic book news, art of the day, new Kickstarters added weekly, and so much more. And that so much more just goes on and on to what we think is entertaining and we think that is interesting and creative. We do editorials. We have, I believe it's 10 contributors right now, which is awesome. We're going to be, once again, going out to look for more contributors in the upcoming weeks. We're not going to be happy, ultimately, ever, because if the minute we get happy, we're going to stop trying to impress you. And that's our job. We're here to impress you. We're here to give you a site that you fall in love with, because we love what we do. We, all of us who are involved in it, really enjoy what we do. We like talking about the topics we talk about. And that's where you see here, where you see passion. And one of the things I'm excited to do, and I'm just going to give a quick shout out to Martin Dunn. Martin Dunn hooked me up with the with this new program called, let me go to the background and just show you, see the guts of the site. Right here, this is called Grammarly. And Grammarly is going to help us bring, especially me, because I do a lot of the posting, but I know my sister, my wife, and a few other people I know who are doing these things. I've given this program to, and it's free on a basic level because I'm so screwed up with my dyslexia and all that. I went with a little bit of a higher tier. I just got 50% off of it because I asked, and they told me to keep my eye out, and certainly it came up. But this helps me see things I wouldn't normally see. So we are improving the site. We have now an onboard editor from Grammarly, so you should see an improvement in that. We are very excited about all the changes we have coming in the next couple of months, the things that we're not talking about just yet because we haven't fully gotten them the way they are. Con season is here, so we're going to have a lot of content from cons. But it all starts here. It all starts with Kickstarters. It all starts with keeping these indie creators creating. And you guys do a fantastic job as fans. You guys are awesome. In creators, you're backing each other means worlds. You are literally creating a new world. You are making Marvel and DC realize that they need to stop hiring people that are going to hide images in their X-Men issues or turn their beloved characters into mongrels of hate, and instead maybe reach out to an indie creator and see if they can't, give us an opportunity to Show them what they're doing wrong right now and put them back on a track where I think that indie creators can take them to. And that's not a knock on anyone who's working in Marvel and DC, and I want that to be stressed. It's not them, it's the companies. I think the companies themselves, the people running them, just need to look a little closer into indie comics and see the passion that they're missing in their comic books. And I think that's what it comes down to. And I think it's editorial, and I think it's because they run a business, and everyone understands you're running a business. But Marvel did so well because they were about to go out of business and started just doing what they wanted to do, and that's why there's a Marvel like there is today. DC's definitely challenged things over the years. So, I mean, there's always up and down swings, but indie comics is just ready to help you guys have an upswing. Check out the Kickstarters that we just showed. Some of these could instantly fit into your lineup. So get tomorrow's great stories today. Remember, Walking Dead started as an indie comic book. Spawn started as an indie comic book, realistically. Indie comic book creations are the wave of the future. And every time you guys support indie comics, you are helping us create the new world that is coming. Really quick, just looking at the comments section, Ryan Palmer said that comment about the passion of comics comparing indie and commercials. Beautiful, Rob Anderson. Thank you, Ryan. It's just honestly how I feel. I do think that the thing that Marvel misses that the indie comic book creators get is passion. We are very passionate in what we do, and you have to be. You have to be passionate when you're from day one. Everyone tell you, get ready to fail. You're not going to make money. You're never going to get what you think you're going to get out of this. Everything about what you're going to go through is going to suck pretty much, and it's going to be hard, and it's never going to work the way you want. That's day one for every comic book creator, especially writer who hears about it. And then it's that uphill climb. So you have to be passionate to get to that climb. And getting to that top of the mountain means you go past everyone else. And that's right. Ryan Palmer says, I agree. It is hard to buy passion. And that's true. You know, you get a creator in a spot, you hire them to do Batman, and then you don't let them tell the story they want, and things happen. And I don't want to speculate. I'll just say that I know for a fact there are writers and creators that I've spoken to, and I won't mention their names, from both Marvel and DC, who are not happy with certain directions that they have been forced to undergo. And they've even gone as far as to some of them leave the company because they didn't like the direction that the company was going in. And they've gone on to the independent market and started to make their own comic books. And if Marvel and DC keep treating the creators like they do and forcing them to tell these stories they think are quote unquote marketable, I think it only hurt them. And I'm a lifelong Marvel and DC fan. I'm not throwing any hate on them. I just want them to stop fucking rebooting everything. And I just want them to have a linear idea and design and creation. And I know it sounds funny because Batman's been rebooted naturally over the last couple decades. But at least when they did it in the past, they kind of, you know, they didn't call it a reboot. Now it became marketable to call things reboots, but it's really not. They're all losing the market share. Ryan says that is true. Following a marketing plan is hard on the creative process. And those who don't know Ryan, you should really be checking out Ryan. Ryan's got some fantastic things coming with Cornerstone Studios. We had him on Spoken Sins. He's a great guy, very smart, very sharp guy. And he has Saints 8, I believe. I'm getting the name wrong right now. I'm having like a brain fart. Ryan, if you're hearing this, what was the name of it? Is it Saints 8? Am I right about that? I think I'm right. But yeah, it comes down to passion. And that's something that is sorely missing in the that's right. Okay, I was right. I thought it was. Thank God I got it right. It's one tricky thing about live videos. You can't edit things out. But yeah, Brian does Saints 8, and it's fantastic from what I've seen. I'm ready for the Kickstarter, which is coming this summer. And we'll be there to promote it. But I mean, that's what it is. It's passion, guys. This is about passion. That's what you're backing Kickstarter. You're funding passion. When you're buying a Marvel and DC comic book, you've bought a comic book. When you're buying, or in even better, pledging and investing in the future of comic books, when you go to Kickstarter, you're investing in passion. You're making passion come to be, not marketing. And that's the difference. And hopefully Marvel and DC will go back to remembering comic books are about passion. It's about creativity. That's it, guys. I got to run. Things that I got to take care of today, like all of you, I'm sure. thank you for joining in. I know Russell over at his page is about to go live. He usually goes live at this time. So for those who aren't checking him out, make sure to check him out right now and today. I will talk to you all later. Remember to subscribe to YouTube to keep up with our live streams and be able to always be involved in the conversation. I'll talk to you all later.